What do we think about the South, people? That's right, Atlanta's favorite variety show, Good Gracious, from right here at Switchyards Downtown Club in Atlanta, GA. Thank you for coming tonight, everybody. I'm your intrepid host, Boyd Baker. I'm also a cat juggler on the side, but that's another issue we'll deal with later. What I would like to do is, you know, I had this whole thing. I created this show as a love letter to the South, and to let people know the South that I know. You know, I grew up in the South, and it was hot and crazy and racially charged at times and tense, but it was such a great environment, you know? People getting along. And unfortunately right now, in our country, it's not geared that way. And that's unfortunate. And I had this whole thing about, you know, talking about race and whatever else. And then, you know, I'll talk about my grandmother. So, I was born in Cookville, Tennessee. This isn't an interview. And my parents pretty much lived in Franklin and Nashville. And my grandmother and grandfather, Mildred and Sharkey, grew up off Trinity Lane. And, you know, just a simple kind of Southern family. And I had a couple cousins. We used to love going to the beach. For whatever reason, at that time, not anymore, but our pigment was like supercharged. And as my father-in-law would say, we'd get brown as a bean in the sun. You know, it didn't matter. We loved going to the beach. We'd run out there, and my cousins and I would just get dark, that savage tan you used to see on television. Well, my mother and aunt and grandmother loved just lying out. And, you know, back then in the 60s, that was the days when you didn't use sunscreen. Kids, you use suntan oil. Or I've known some people that actually use oil or lard or whatever. So because you were trying to bake yourself. And, you know, a different kind of time. Well, my grandmother worked downtown at a place called Castronauts. And it was kind of the Riches or the Phipps Plaza kind of nice retail environment. She worked, I don't know, she worked in jewelry, she worked in lingerie. You know, she was just there to serve. And a very sweet woman she was. So one day she's behind the counter and a well-to-do woman walks up and she says, how can I help you? And the woman just kind of looks at her and steps aside and walks away. And grandmother being my grandmother, she's like, oh, sour pussies are everywhere. You know, whatever. She goes back. Well, this woman goes and talks to the manager. It turns out, she finds out later, the manager came up and she said, you know that woman had an issue with you. And she said, why? She said, could not believe you were letting a black woman serve me at this store. And my grandmother just gotta laugh. I mean, at that point, what is there to do? And it's weird that in my family, that's the only version of racism that I can ever remember hearing anybody having to deal with. And so much of what we go through and what our nation's going through and our neighbors are going through is about perspective, right? And sometimes it's too easy just to ignore. I mean, just like these shoes, right? I'm wearing these things. If you've seen them, you've been laughing. I know you have. Everybody does.
I'm still laughing.
These are the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn. They're made by some craftsman in Pakistan. It was a Kickstarter, and I thought, well, good on them. You know, they're trying to keep it alive because everything's going factory. And when I put them on, I was like, oh my gosh, these are wonderful. But every time I wear them, my wife, her brother, my father-in-law, most people who see me go, nice shoes. You know, I'm sure if I had a different complexion, I might be assumed to be something different as well. I think it all comes down to talking. And too often we've gotten stuck in the rut of Facebook, internet conversations, which aren't conversations at all. And the more that we can talk face to face, and I think we should talk to our kids, talk to our friends, talk to our neighbors, the more we can make things right. We can all do better. And that's what I hope this show does, to try to highlight the talent and the creative, because if you've lived in the South long enough, you watch the news and you realize we're all hillbillies and rednecks and Klansmen and whatever else on TV. But that's not the South that I know. So, that's a long-winded way of saying, you know, love your brother, give out, you know, a little bit of hug every now and then, and don't jump too quickly down somebody's throat. Take a moment and walk in their weird shoes. All right? And a little bit of humor can help this sometimes. So I would like to introduce Mr. Mark Kendall.
Say what's up? So I'm gonna do like a character real quick. Is that cool? Alright, nice, cool. So I'm gonna do that. Alright, shut up! It has finally happened, people. The Atlanta Braves have moved to Cobb County. And in a crazy turn of events, they have started building MARTA trains to the new stadium. Now, historically, Cobb County has restricted MARTA from moving to the area, but no more. So you know what this means. We are finally taking black crime to Cobb County. It's been a long time coming, but a change has come. This is something we have always wanted to do, but it's only possible now that we have trains. So first things first, we're gonna go over the plan for tomorrow's robbery, all right? So Ricky, you're bringing the guns. Leon, you're bringing the crowbar, all right? And we need 5 Points MARTA station tomorrow at 8 a.m. Everyone is buying their own breeze cars this time. I'm looking at you, Ricky, goddammit. So we're gonna hop on the Gold Line northbound, headed towards Doraville Station at around 8:20 a.m. We're gonna switch over to the Red Line. If everything goes according to plan, we should be at the new Cobb County MARTA station about 8:40 a.m. What is it, Ricky? No, man, we cannot stop at Five Guys on the way there. Look, man, I know that Five Guys has delicious cheeseburgers. I like them too. Five Guys doesn't even open until 11 a.m. though. Keep your head in the game, Ricky. Leon, talk to your cousin. Goddamn. All right, so we get to the new Cobb County MARTA station around 8:40 a.m. Then we're gonna have to hop on the 10 bus. The 10 bus is gonna take us all the way to Fair Oaks. After we get off of the bus, it's just a short half-mile walk to the house we want to rob. Now, once we're inside, we're only going after the good stuff, all right? Talking about the Xbox controllers, the Chobani yogurt, all right? And most importantly, their piano. Then we're gonna grab all that stuff and go a half-mile walk back to the bus stop. Now we have practiced this, people. We have practiced this. We've got to get to that bus stop at 11 a.m. sharp. Otherwise, we're gonna be stuck on the side of the road for the next 2 hours waiting for the next one. All right, any questions? What is it, Ricky? No, man, what I say last time? No Five Guys, man. Look, Leon, I'm not gonna ask you again. Talk to your cousin, goddamn. All right, so we get back to the new Cobb County MARTA station. All right, now we have got to figure out a way to get that piano onto the train. Now that piano is probably going to weigh anywhere from 500 to 1,200 pounds, all right? So rather than using the Turner style, try to look for the bike door, you can slide that thing on through, you know what I'm saying? Just slide the piano on through. Now in the event that the bike door is broken, perhaps not functioning correctly, we're going to have to physically toss the piano over a Turner style, all right? So man up and get ready to toss some stuff, all right? Now, once we're on the train, that's when things get dangerous. You're gonna be a black man, riding a MARTA train, holding a piano. So be prepared for someone to walk up to you and ask you, "Excuse me, sir, are you Stevie Wonder?" Now the answer is always yes. Thanks, y'all. Mark, appreciate it.
This next act is a young lady who has aspirations to be a singer-songwriter of magnificent proportion. And I think you will agree that she's got the talent. Please welcome Andi Kezh.
Thank you guys, that was hilarious. Oh my god. Alright, I'm Andi Kezh. I'm 16 years old from Decatur, Georgia. I'm so happy to be here. This is an amazing crowd. I'm going to sing you some original music of mine. Good? Check. Alright, this first one is called The River. It's kind of about a relationship that's on its last strings, and you know that it's going to end, so you're kind of waiting for something to happen. Can't see your hands through the water, mysterious like no other. You're here then, like a goner, falling apart, falling back together. Take me down to the river to escape. Take me down to the river anytime. Can't see each other through the waves. There's a love for each other, fade away. Sands in between our toes feels so good, and I think you know we've got nothing in common anymore, except for the river and the shore. Take me down to the river to escape. Take me down to the river anytime. Can't see each other through the waves. There's a love for each other, fade Take me down to the river to escape. Take me down to the river anytime. Can't see each other through the waves. There's a love for each other, fade away. Take me down to the river to escape. Take me down to the river anytime. Take me down to the
I was lucky enough to learn about Andi through Carly, right? Who's been working with her as a songwriter and guitar teacher. And I was just wondering, who have you seen other than Carly that you feel are your influences?
That's a hard question. I have like an eclectic type of music. I really like Amy Winehouse. But I also really like Nirvana, which is very different.
They're both dark. They both have their moments. They can be uplifting, but
I really like Fleetwood Mac.
you could hear a little bit of that in that song. So, well, do you have plans to record, or what's going on?
So yeah, I've actually recorded my first single. It's called On Your Own. It's on iTunes, Spotify, all of that. You can check it out. And I'm planning to record my first EP, hopefully at the beginning of 2018, and have that out. So I'm really excited about it.
Well, will you play another song?
Sure.
All right.
Thank you. This one is pretty fresh. I recently wrote it. It's called New Me. I hope you like it. Winds are increasing.
awesome. You're going to hear more about her. I just got a feeling she's driven. We know it. Her parents know it. She is like on it. So I was lucky to get to talk to her in a conference room while she played, and I came out with the walls rattling because she is so powerful. So anyway, need to do a little business right now and thank some folks for their wonderful support. Without these people, you would be stuck at home watching the Falcons' third-string offense play so nobody gets hurt, or waiting for the McGregor-Mayweather fight, which will probably start about the time you go to bed tonight, if I'm not mistaken. So, Cynthia Bear, Realtor, has been an amazing supporter of the show from day one. Thank you so much. If you need an in-town realtor, you can't do any better than that. Dave and Michael from here at Switchyards Downtown Club. Fortunately, they've opened their den to us to have this crazy chaos come in. So, Lee Tavern's Brewery in Decatur, if you've not been there, it's a Belgian-inspired brewery, so they do American ales with a little twist. And what I will say is there's delicious Night on Pints IPA being poured right now, as well as the rapturous the sour raspberry ale. So visit their brewery or Chandler, our fine bartender. At the same time, Matt Franklin from Most Uniquest, thank you very much for filming. And Nigel Rowe from Sumptuous Media is also filming. We're dueling each other on this. But thanks to them, we're having a great night. So, our next act, clocking in at just south of 450 pounds, is Jay Hill, Andi, and Mark from Dad's Garage. Coming.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Cool. I'm Andi.
I'm Jay Hill.
I'm Mark.
And you probably met Mark earlier. Anyway, we are going to be doing some improv comedy for you tonight. Make some noise if you've seen improv comedy before. Now, if you haven't seen improv, you can make some noise. Try that out.
Don't be intimidated, it's okay.
Well, okay, I heard one person potentially. So what that means is that we're going to be making some games up on the spot for you guys. You have no idea what we're about to do. So it might be something like, what's your favorite color? And you'd all yell, very good. You guys all just did some improv. Sometimes we need help though, so we'd actually like to bring for this first game is there two people who can come and help us out with it, and if there's any kids, we'd love to have them up here as well. We got, okay, I see two kids actually. Jay Hill's coming to get you.
How about 1 and 2? Come on up.
Yeah, give it up for these nice flying cars.
Amelia, I got Graham and Amelia.
Graham and Amelia! Graham, could you stand over here?
And then Graham, will you go stand by Mark?
So Amelia, Graham, thank you guys so much for coming out. So we're going to do improv, which means we don't know what's going on, and sometimes we need a little bit of help. So you guys are going to help us out for this next scene. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to start just kind of making something up, and if we need help, if we can't figure out what the next thing we should say is, we're going to give you a little tap on the shoulder, or we're going to look at you guys in the eyes and just say whatever you think goes next, okay? And we'll try to make it make sense. So it might be really easy, Amelia. It might be something like,
Oh my gosh, I'm so thirsty. I could use a glass of...
no! Very good, Amelia.
I like milk, that's perfect.
Yeah, or it might be a little bit harder.
You know, the meaning of life is...
That dogs are awesome.
The dogs are awesome.
So yeah, you guys can say whatever. We don't have to make it make sense, okay? All right, hey guys, so to get us started, what's a profession that you would really love, wish you kind of did?
Bomb tester.
Bomb tester. Is that a job?
Felon.
You say felon?
No, it's called felon.
Oh, felon. Okay, great. Perfect for a family-friendly show. Okay. Sweet. I guess, yeah, why not? We're just going to do a very nice, positive scene about prison. Okay. So, guys, please count this scene down. We'll see it in 5 seconds. We'll count down for 5. We'll see it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sarge, I've got a hot one.
You got a hot one, huh? Johansson, how hot is it?
Sarge, this bomb is so hot that when I look at it, it freezes me with fear.
So hot, it's cold. Okay, just making sure. So we're actually bomb squad people, not. All right, I'm on the same page now. Look at that bomb is going to be a problem, especially because
It's made of kitties.
it's made of kitties. You can't be the single kid. With those cats, all right, they're adorable.
What kind of evil mastermind buries a bomb in kitties?
It's me, Professor.
Big face?
Big Face? Don't you know me for my big face, my kitty bombs?
Be careful, his face is huge.
Professor, I thought you were miles away on the island of
Yeah, I was, but after my kitty bombs, it's now the island of kitties.
But dogs are awesome!
Not as awesome as kitties. What my favorite thing about kitties are that they
Poop in a litter box?
They poop in the litter box. They don't poop in the shoes. They don't poop in the fish bowl. They got their own space. They're sophisticated animals. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. That's kitty for. Cats are better.
He's got a good point, but don't give in, all right?
Professor Big Face, just give us the code and we'll defuse the bomb. You don't have to do this.
No, I've read about you, Detective Twinkle Toes.
Have you? Oh, have you?
I have, and I admire about how you have a professional career while simultaneously pursuing your passion of dance.
That's right. Usually my sugar plum fairies will detonate a bomb immediately, but it's not working.
This Sprinkle Toast, I have a secret. Turns out Big Face has one weakness. He's eating tomatoes. I repeat, eating tomatoes.
These cherry tomatoes are so good. I love sprinkling them with rosemary and salsa. Because it's like there's tomatoes in the salsa, and then you put more tomatoes. It's redundant, and I like that.
Sarge, that's perfect because if there's something kitties love, it's salsa. They'll be immediately attracted to Professor.
Yeah, well, I think it's happening.
Oh no! The kitties ate me. You did this. Oh no! I'm going on vacation. So good, fantastic. Great.
Okay, we're done.
Thanks, Garage. Crazy guys. All right. Everyone, I want to introduce you to the wonderful Julie McKevitt from Paint Love. Applause, come on. Come stand close. So how did Paint Love start? And what do you do?
Yeah, so quickly, Paint Love, we provide free art workshops for youth that face poverty or trauma. And it started as an idea in 2013. I, with the support of my amazing husband, decided to pursue art full time. So I became a painter in 2013. And as a side part of my business, I said I wanted to do something that kind of gave back to the community. And so it started as Paint Love. And I volunteered with a group called Wellspring Living. And it's a group that rescues girls out of sex trafficking in Atlanta. And we did just a free art workshop with the girls. And it was just that moment of that light bulb of saying, this is really cool. And there was just so many therapeutic implications of doing art with girls who have faced trauma. And I kind of reached a decision point. More and more organizations like Wellspring Living were out there that needed artists, and there were more artists out there who were interested in opportunities. So I decided to pursue this side idea of mine full time, and it became Paint Love. And so we've had
how has the program grown? I mean, in what ways since you started have you seen things split?
So that the first year we did about 6 events. We reached 100 kids, and the next year we did 30, and last year we did 60. This year we're on track to do over 100 events, and we have a waiting list from both Title I schools and nonprofits throughout Metro Atlanta, DeKalb, Fulton, Forsyth, Cobb, Gwinnett, who are waiting for programs because we connect professional artists in Atlanta. I was honored to paint on the Beltline and kind of recruited a lot of the muralists and artists that have worked on the Beltline to come on board.
And how do you find the nonprofits, or do they find you?
It's a lot of word of mouth as far as our partnerships. At this point, they found us. We kind of found them in the beginning, but thankfully we've had a lot of people come to us at this point.
That's incredible. Well, how do you keep a program like this running? I mean, it's a beautiful thought, and we all know art doesn't pay all the time. So how does that work, and how does it work for the kids?
Yeah, so because we're serving specific organizations that don't have a lot of resources, and the kids who are facing poverty and trauma, we wanted to, from the very beginning, provide free art resources. So for the kids, it's free, and for the organizations, it's free. And so we get our funding money. That's what makes it. But at this point, individual donations. We were just selected by the Georgia Council for the Arts in association with the National Endowment for the Arts for a $10,000 grant, which is really exciting for us. It's our first one.
What kind of impact are you finding that it has on the kids? I mean, other than them going, yay, we're having fun, do you see anything? Are you getting feedback?
Yeah, from the very beginning, we kind of use this word transformational, that we want to have themes and we want to have really true impact in what we're doing. And so we build our work around what the nonprofits or the schools are already working with the kids. For example, Kate's Club, which works with children who have lost a parent or sibling. They wanted to they came to me and they said, I want to do something with metal. And we're talking, we're just metal. And we're talking about, that month they were talking about the grief journey that the kids face. And so I found a really cool metal artist. And she came up with this phenomenal idea beyond me to build a portable metal foundry that her and her metal team brought on site to these teens at Cape Club. And we put the teens in the full metal pouring regalia.
Oh, so you had like an iron pour?
Yeah, we had an iron pour on site. The kids, all the teens got to
That's sparks and crazy.
Yeah, so they let us do it. The kids scratched out sand blocks and poured. We had collected hundreds of soda cans and they poured their own metal sculpture. And so, but as far as impact, we talked about how, and the grieving journey, and how it kind of reflected in this metal process of taking something old and broken and turning it into something beautiful and new that they got to take home with them. And so those are the types of projects, and working with amazing artists like Miranda who come to me and say, I want to do this. And I said, okay, how can we make this happen? And so that's...
So there's no shortage of ideas?
No.
Or artists?
No.
It's just the implementation.
Money.
Well, how could folks from the Good Gracious family help or get involved, or what ways could you?
Yeah, well, the amazing thing is this is such a creative environment. So we're always looking for creatives at just the lowest level of just sharing about us, doing a tweet, doing a Facebook post, following us, sharing about what we're doing. If you know someone, or obviously if you are interested in volunteering or being a part of our work, we would love to have you. And then in addition to that, we're always looking for donors. We have a big event coming up, which is our, he posted up here, but these are individual ways that you can sponsor different needs that we have. And but we have our art auction coming up on October 19th. And it's going to be Monday Night Brewing is doing this really awesome thing where they're opening up their space for us. And because it's going to be their new facility on the Beltline, they're letting us bring in some mural artists, and we're going to be painting their walls during our event, and so it's going to be really fun.
How many kids in it?
So that's a fundraiser. So that's adults. So there's free beer.
So there's an upside.
Yeah.
Or if anybody is Daddy Warbucks, or if they're part of a corporation or company that actually sponsors things, maybe this is a good way for folks to get involved.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So this next act that we have coming up is going to take you back in time to a time of speakeasies, roadhouses, and backwoods music. So please welcome Dahl and the Jugtime Ragband. I thought we needed more time, so we're done. So I'm going to stand here. I'm going to go Trey. Trey, step up.
Hey.
This is Trey, everybody. Hey, Trey. So, a lot of times this music is lost, right? I mean, you don't hear it on the radio. A lot of people don't even have it in their family archives or anything. How did you get involved in this style of music from what, the 10s, 20s, 30s, and 40s?
Yeah, from my grandpa, his records, his old 78s and stuff, just kind of, and old movies. Busby Berkeley, anyone?
Woohoo!
Busby Berkeley movies?
Yeah.
Look it up, Google.
Yeah. But Google, that's handy.
Google it.
So, but you also write originals, right?
Yes.
Do you find it challenging to try to write in what most people would think you are covering somebody else's, like you're creating nostalgic music today?
Right. Yeah, no, I don't find it difficult. In fact, it's the only thing, I'm a one-trick pony, that's all I can do.
Oh.
Yeah. If people started hating this music and it was over,
Yeah.
I would just get a day job.
Yeah.
Which would be a dream come true.
Yeah. On that note, I'm going to get out of the way. Trey Dahl, Jugtime Ragband.
That's good. Yeah, go ahead. Tell the world I'm short. Whatever. There it is. So this is a little one we wrote. It's called "What Say You." Goes a little like.
1, 2, 1.
Say it, what you doing today? I
stop me now.
Don't try it at home, unless you Google it. So this one is one we wrote. We're doing another one, right, bro? Yes?
Yes, sir.
So we got a song out. Our rehearsal space and where I live is in Stone Mountain. So we wrote a little song.
Pardon me? We might need a little audience participation here. I don't know if you guys can hear it before, but it goes a little like this.
So it's called Stone Mountain Stomp. Now,
That'll help.
just for the beginning. yeah. If it goes on the whole time. So usually we have a horn section on stage with a drum kit, we do drum solos and stuff. He's been that. He's tired. I was tired. Yeah. Anyway, so I was born in New Jersey in 19. Here it comes. Taking in some nature, running out to before, heading over to the public house, stomp on the dance floor, and the band is always playing tunes very high, and we all begin to shake and shout, jump and then we stomp. Oh, we're gonna shake, shout, jump and stomp. When they play that music high, we're out on the dance floor, we shake, shout, jump and stomp. Oh, oh, shake, shout, jump and stomp. Play that music high, we're out on the dance floor, we shake, shout, jump and stomp. All right. Well, my lungs are full of fresh air, devil's water on my mind. Stepped out from that hiking trail, what to my surprise, our carriage wasn't going. The horses wouldn't turn. Many miles from the public house, my anger it did burn. I wanna shake, shout, jump and stomp. When they play that music high, I get out on the dance floor and I'll shake, shout, jump and stomp. Shake, shout, jump and stomp. Play that music high, get out on the dance floor. Now shake, shout, jump and stomp. Here we go. Oh, my baby said you calm down. Stacy on the drums. I didn't introduce you. You're a horrible person, Sean.
All right, if that music didn't get you moving, come on, man. If you come to a Good Gracious show, the good thing is you're going to see stuff you probably never saw. The bad thing is you're like pulling back the cobwebs of my brain, and you're starting to see where my curiosities lie. So, I will say, there is a tip bucket, if nobody realized that, up at the bar. The beverages are free tonight if you got Cokes and Sprites and beer or whatever. We're just glad to be able to serve. But the bands, such as that band, come on, man, they were awesome. If you can put dollars to the bucket, that's going to help make their day, all right? So, next up, I have a true life storyteller named Shannon Turner. And I was lucky enough to meet Shannon through something called Carapace. I don't know how many people have heard of that. How many know Carapace? Okay, all up front, so they know what's going on. Carapace is a monthly storytelling session at Manuel's Tavern, and it's free. All right? So if you want to tell a story, get in front of a mic and tell a story, all you have to do is put your name in the hat. You might get drawn. And you get to meet and hear some incredible storytellers. And Shannon is one of those. So, I just wanted to ask you before we go, how did you get into storytelling?
Well, through Carapace, for sure. I had been a storyteller my whole life in certain kind of ways. I mean, I like to say many streams become the rivers that become the ocean, right? So, but Carapace was definitely an inspiration to me. And it's a great way to come out and practice. There are other events that happen all over the city. There's Stories on the Square, there's the Moth. If you follow Boyd...
Kavarna also, that's the Stories on the Square.
We are oversharers on Facebook,
yeah.
Right? Both of us.
Trying to tell you.
Speaking of, I was hoping you might take away my phone from me so I don't actually post anything on Facebook while I'm doing
I will gladly
this storytelling right at this moment. I wanted to tell you, do you know, your friend Andi might be interested to know this. The reason why she might be interested in both, was it Smells Like Teen Spirit? Nirvana. And the other young lady who unfortunately passed.
Amy Winehouse.
They both died at the age of 27. As well as...
That has nothing to do with Andy's lifetime experience.
But also Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix.
The storyteller's taking us down a very dark road right now.
It's like this person. Yeah.
Some of the greats, they go out too soon.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Please, Shannon Turner.
It was the winter of my discontent. The first of many, it turns out, because I didn't know yet that I'm a sufferer of seasonal affective disorder. But it was, at that time, really deep, dark despair, existential angst that you can only have when you're a college student. It was halfway through my junior year, the night before exams were to begin, and I was wandering around from dorm room to dorm room, unloading my existential angst on everyone. I was asking, should I take a semester off? Should I keep barreling through? Or should I even drop out of school? You see, my uncle had died of AIDS a few semesters before that, and it had, as I'm saying, led me into this deep, dark depression. Now they were all doing the thing that you're supposed to do the night before exams, which is study heavily, or drink heavily, and play Skip-Bo and watch VCR versions of Days of Our Lives. This is the 90s I'm talking about. At the small little liberal arts college in Southwest Virginia that I went to the night before exams also featured our faculty and staff showing up at the cafeteria and serving us midnight brunch. And so my friend said, enough, we've had it with your angsty business. We nominate you to go down to midnight brunch and load up the styrofoam plates with the pizza and the eggs and the waffles and syrup and bring them back to us so that you can get out of our hair. Maybe you can get out of your head. So I did as commanded. I was walking back through my dorm yard, the pizza and the eggs and the waffles and syrup on styrofoam plates, when I had one of those moments. I have them quite frequently. Perhaps you have them too, where I'm in one place and then suddenly I'm in another place, horizontal, on the ground, in a lot of pain. This time was not my fault. It was sponsored by the fact that someone had left a cap half off a pipe in the yard. And so there I lay, sprawled out, pizza, eggs, waffles, syrup, styrofoam plates all over me. And if I thought I was existentially stuck before, here I was quite literally stuck because my foot would not come out of the pipe. Help! Now, for those of you who are too young, I need to stop and tell you something. A few years before this, baby Jessica fell down a well. An 18-month-old infant wandered out of her house and fell deep down into the earth. I remember this distinctly because they preempted Beauty and the Beast. Not the Beauty and the Beast y'all watch today, Beauty and the Beast with Ron Perlman and Linda Hamilton before she got guns. And I was incensed. And all I could think as I lay there was the helicopters flying overhead, the spotlight down in my face. Hour 18, college student Shannon Turner has been stuck in this pipe for 18 hours as rescuers have struggled valiantly to free her. Help! Until finally, one of my friends, looking for her pizza and eggs and waffles and syrup on a styrofoam plate, came out looking for me, standing on the balcony, and heard me yelling in the dark. She came down, she looked at me and she said, "What's the matter for you?" I don't know if she was really from Brooklyn, but in my mind, I've given her that quality. And I said, "My head is in the place in the fire." Well, just stand up. I need to take a moment here to meditate on Nina Simone. You see, Nina, she did a lot of her own original music. She remade a lot of great songs by white men, right? She redid Leonard Cohen, she redid Bob Dylan, she redid the Beatles. And these days, we keep talking about whether or not we should take down some statues, monuments about white men. And it seems like we might be stuck in this moment. We're not talking to each other around this conversation. We're not talking across lines of difference. The thing was, when my friend, she told me to stand up, I did. And it pointed my foot down. And I was easily able to pull my foot out of the pipe. So these days, when I feel like I'm stuck, like life has just knocked me down, sometimes I remember it might be just as easy as standing up. Thanks, y'all.
Miss Shannon Turner. Fabulous job, man. Storytelling can move your soul, it can open your mind, and it can connect you with memories that you have long forgotten, but you kind of appreciate when they come back. How many of you, by a show of hands, how many of you would be really excited to stand up in front of a microphone, in front of a crowd like this, and speak? I mean, like, it doesn't bother you at all. When I'm seeing this doesn't really give me a whole lot of. Yeah, I mean, maybe. You're not afraid of a microphone. What would you do if you had a microphone? Would you sing a song? Would you read a poem? Would you tell a story? No. Well, microphones can be awesome. They give you a louder voice, but most importantly, they can give you a more powerful voice. I've been very lucky that my lack of fear of microphones has allowed me to do this. And this is my 9th show, and I'm very thankful that I've gotten this far. But to see new faces and different people, and to expose them to these great stories, because that's what I want to do. I want to tell these stories. I could sit up here for an hour, people. Jim knows this. I could talk to Dahl about music from the 20s, 30s, and 40s, and that would be like heaven. Or I could talk to, Shannon about storytelling. Long form stuff really matters, but it's something that we don't always think about, and we don't always go out, and we don't always do something. So I appreciate all you people that came out, and a lot of you I know, a lot of you are friends or connected with friends, and I hope that you have this experience that, we should go out more often. Because you have that moment that you're like, wow, that was good. And I'm not saying to this, though, please come, but see these musicians, see these storytellers. The breadth of creativity is fascinating in Atlanta, and it's growing. I mean, right now, there are a dozen things that I would much rather be doing than stand in front of you, just because they're so cool, all right? So, think about it, all right? And with that being said, I want to introduce somebody. You may not have met him yet. A very talented young man. He comes from Australia, from Brisbane. His name is Mark Kendall. He's sitting down and going, oh, he's introducing somebody else. That's not me.
Hey everyone, my name is Mark. I was going to do one more character for you all. Thanks so much. All right, fellas, I got something to say before we go out there for our very first NFL regular season game. Now, tonight, when the national anthem comes on, ain't nobody going to sit or take a knee. Now, I know what you might be asking yourself. Man, as a black folk, we can't sit, we can't kneel, we can't march. What is the right way for a person of color to protest? And I say, we shouldn't protest at all. Now, hear me out first, okay? History shows us that the clearest path towards racial progress is when black people sit back and wait until white people are ready for it to happen. I learned all about it in this beautiful documentary called The Blind Side. Now, what we need to do as black folk, we need to be smarter, people. All right? We need to be smarter. Stop saying things like institutional racism. Don't you realize that to some people, that's invisible? How do you hope to convince a God-fearing Christian in something that they cannot even see? This is important, all right? If you call a white person a racist, and they're like, what? No, I'm not. Then that's the end of the discussion. Look, I know what you're thinking. Hey, just because I'm pro-black, that doesn't mean I'm anti-white. You might be thinking that right now. But here's the thing. If you take a knee during the national anthem, you are making a push for equality, all right? And to some people, equality is anti-white. Because once we're all truly equal, things like blackness, whiteness, those things, they go away, all right? Look, blackness is built upon a fear of, blackness is built upon a fear from white people, right? And so that can make them do weird things. It can make the media want to criminalize us. It can make a bunch of them buy tiki torches. It can even make Cobb County, all right? But I figured it out. I figured out the answer. We are all football players. I am a football player. And when I put on this jersey, it's the one time in my life where I'm not defined by my race. For those 4 quarters, I get to go out there, and when I perform the way they want me to, they see me as an equal, all right? And I'm thinking, if that's what we do, we just go out there, perform, don't say anything the way they want us to. Maybe one day, they'll see us as equals even after the football game is over. So that's why tonight, when the national anthem comes on, I'm gonna stand tall. Because when I wear this jersey, I am not a black man. I am a Washington Redskin.
So Mark is obviously, he does his monologues thing, but I wanted to ask, so, you know, you do the comedy improv, but was that the beginning, or was that the second after you decided you wanted to do your own thing like this?
I guess they kind of came around at the same time. So I'd always written.
You were trying to push pieces through the group when you're like trying to sell what you're going to do on the show, or when you're going to do.
Oh, not so much that. I started doing like sketch writing, and I wasn't a sketch group, but I was just a writer. But then I started performing solo with stand up, and then I discovered improv soon after that. So I guess like the improv with solo performances kind of always gone together.
Yeah. I mean, you know, race can work wonderful things. Humor can do a great job at telling a story. Do you find that something that you've always tried to infuse, or is it something that you just say, well, sometimes things just have to come out, you know?
I don't know. I guess the way I look at it is like I just try to pull from personal experience, and I guess the way I look at things, I feel like race plays a role like in everything. So it's not so much that I'm like doing something that has to do with race. I'm just doing pieces, and so like if race comes up, and it does. But, yeah.
Are you from the South?
I'm from Atlanta originally. Yeah.
That's pretty South.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming out from Oakland. He's also got a one-man show. You can look online, and I'll link to it on the website and everything. So he's done amazing things. But right now, come on out, guys. I'm going to make room for a fantabulous band called Pony League out of Atlanta. I don't know if you know these guys, but we're going to chat a little bit. And I get out of the way of the keyboards. Hey, everybody. Who wants to talk? Somebody want to tell me about Pony League?
We're not busy.
Who wants to talk? We're not doing anything, right?
Let's talk.
Well, so I found out about you guys through either Facebook, friends of Facebook, good reason to use social media. You learn about lots of cool creative stuff. And I think it was that, the song you had about the baseball player, the pitcher, right?
Rick and Keel.
Rick and Keel.
Rick and Keel from Brave.
And what was it that made that song resonate, that you wanted to write a song about it, the story?
Well, when we wrote that song, we weren't actually sure that we were going to keep playing as a band. We used to be called...
This was like a swan song, you were saying?
Yeah.
This was,
we were thinking about just sort of focusing on real life, jobs and money.
Yes, surviving, yeah.
Eating food and stuff.
Housing, shelter, food.
But, I mean, music has been my dream since I was very young, and I know for my friends here, we've all been doing it for a long time. And so that wasn't really something we wanted to do, it was something that we thought we were going to have to do. But, I guess you could say we were looking for a reason to do it, and Rick Ankiel's home run in the 11th inning of the NLDS in 2010 was exciting, and we thought, he has a great story behind him. He started out as a pitcher, and in the playoffs for the Cardinals, in front of the sold-out crowd, got a case of the yips, which is basically when you forget how to do something like throw a ball. Yeah. Which I really hope I don't forget the yips.
Yeah. We all yips sometimes, don't we, people? Everybody's got a little yip in it.
But he came back as a hitter and hit a home run for us, and that was what inspired the song, The Comeback.
Well, and you guys recently had the experience. I lived in Colorado with my wonderful wife and my son for 5 years, and so you got to play at Red Rocks.
Yeah.
How did that all come about?
We got an email. Check your emails. We got and it was like midnight. We got an email from a company called I Am Other, which is run by Pharrell Williams. I don't know how close he is to the actual goings on there.
I bet he's literally setting up the MailChimp every night.
Pony League is going.
He's just typing.
But they were working with Southwest Airlines for a new promotion that Southwest is doing. They have a music hub called Southwest.fm, and they host up-and-coming bands, artists on the rise they call them, and they wanted to feature us, which was really cool. They also had 5 other bands that they wanted to feature, and they were going to do a voting thing where people could.
It was a death match, kind of.
The death match.
Yeah, it was how your fans respond.
Well, long story short, we were voted by fans out of these 6 videos.
We won the death match!
We had to play on a plane. They put us on a moving Southwest plane from Atlanta to Dallas. The passengers on the plane had no idea that there was going to be a band playing.
Oh, I bet they were so excited.
Yeah. I mean,
because you're walking down with this keyboard and you're just.
I used the little Casio with speakers on it that I borrowed from Charlie's girlfriend, I think.
And so you got to open for
the Fray.
The Fray. That's.
Got to meet them, hang out.
Had you ever been to Red Rocks before? If you've never been to Red Rocks, it's probably the most gorgeous venue that you could ever play.
Yeah, I went the first time last summer. Saw Ryan Adams and Kurt Vile there. Beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I'll get out of the way. Sorry. See, I can talk. I can talk. Pony League.
Thanks, Boyd. We'd like to thank Boyd for having us, and all the performers have been amazing, and thank you guys for coming for Pony League. This is a new song that's going to be on the record we just finished, so it'll be out whenever we get around to that part of it.
It's a picture of your family from a decade in the past, peering at you from a magnet on the fridge. It's the driver of a black sedan who holds open the door for a rare and quiet ride at 3 a.m. And how that car moves so damn slow. And I hope that you've forgiven me for staying out so late with that friend that hadn't mentioned all these years. But I only had a couple beers that ended in a hurl in the backseat ride to find you not at home. And how that car moves so damn slow. How I hope you didn't know. The jacket that you handed down when it didn't fit, and it's a stretch amount of time now, and never knowing when to quit, and how that car so damn slow, and how I hope you didn't know in the old times. Think of me
also want to say that Andi, you're an incredible singer, and Dahl and that band is incredible too. And this is, Boyd, you do a really good job.
Get out of here! Get out!
Alright, we're leaving. Boyd told us to leave. Alright, this is the song we played on that plane, so we like to think it's the song that got us to Red Rocks.
Well, it was in that teen, I remember dance, and you didn't seem to want to give a second glance. Is it you, or is it me, or is it the champagne in this banged up limousine? Well, I don't know if we'll ever stand a chance. Staring at rest stop for another 30 miles, and these damn fog lights aren't cooking through a thing. Or will it hold, or will it fold? Or I'll revert back to an impotent child. I don't know if we'll ever stand a chance. I don't know, maybe you are. Let's turn around, I think I took a wrong turn. And you were gone to the dead. Gilman was living on my street. He would just walk up and down, looking for a darling. She was old, and he was frail, and that didn't stop them from still living on their feet. He didn't know, he didn't know, he didn't know, he just felt it in his heart. You never know, you never know, you never know if you just give it another shot. And then he was gone.
Nicely done, everybody. Pony Lee, one more time. Come on. I didn't get to tell you guys I have a certain fascination with keyboards. I've never told Gus this because he'd think it was creepy. But I grew up, you know, in the 60s and 70s, and you had Stevie Wonder, you had Elton John, you had Billy Joel, you had these amazing keyboard-driven songs, and we don't have it much anymore. So when I hear it, it's just like, ooh, this is So anyway, yep, little giddy. That's what I did. Okay. So, I want to introduce one more time the fabulous folks from Edgewood Avenue. If you've never been to Dad's Garage Theater, you need to go there. You can take classes, you can do whatever. Come on up. Andi Cohen, Jay Hill, and Mark Kendall. Michael, are you here? Raise your hand. Michael, are you on your phone? Is your brother Greg here by any chance?
I think he is, yeah.
Is he? What? Greg? That's Greg Taviani right back there. You see him?
I see him.
That's great.
That's great.
You know what today is?
What?
It's his birthday.
Oh, it's Greg's birthday. Give it up for Greg.
Hey, Greg, they can really use some help with this next thing they got. It's not going to hurt too much.
Yeah. Hey, Greg, do you have your phone on you by any chance?
Oh.
Can I borrow it for this next scene?
gonna do a game called Scenes from an iPhone. So, Andy, you have a song for it.
I do. I got Greg. So give it up for Greg one more time. Everything, Greg.
Dahl has Greg's phone, has Greg's text messages. So the way Scenes from an iPhone works is we're going to do a normal improv scene. The only twist is the only lines of dialogue that Jay Hill is allowed to say are text messages from Greg's phone.
Thanks, smiley emoji.
You're very welcome, Greg. Thank you so much. So, guys, this is going to be a pretty regular scene. I'm sure that it'll whatever. What's a small location where people come to meet each other? Get us started.
Funeral. Starbucks.
All right, I'm going to go with coffee shop over funeral. Anyway, great. Countdown for 5, 6, 10, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Double cafe mocha. Enjoy. Wow, Bryce, busy day, huh?
She keeps wailing it. Do you want to get lunch with the kids?
Look, all right. I go to work so I don't have to talk to my children. You know that.
Sorry to be gone so long.
It's okay. I understand. You had your appointments with the FedEx man. It's important to get your packages on time.
Do you want me to watch Emily scrimmage?
Could you please? Because I do not love my daughter at all.
She is hysterical.
Why do you feel that way?
Thanks, Shannon.
You're so welcome. I'm just so glad that I can give you a kid that you can help raise. It's like anything else you need from me, believe me, I got your back.
I'm getting an email out about registering for August tournaments.
August tournaments, huh? Those are the hottest, most muggy tournaments. You sure you're ready for it? I mean, it's a big deal.
Richard will be taking Lucas again next week.
Oh my God, there he is right now. Oh, Richard, you think you're so cool.
I'm taking Lucas. What you call your car? I'm gonna steal your car, and then I'm also gonna take everything else you enjoy.
I told you I don't like Richard.
I'm over here messing with your coffee.
My coffee thing.
You know, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna go put it in the trunk of Lucas, your car.
Both of our teams made it to the championship round. We won 2 witness awards and 4 attorney awards.
I know that you and Richard are very good attorneys. I know who you are, Richard. I know you're good attorneys, all right?
Reminder about meeting today at 9 a.m. in Jackie's room.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's a celebration for me, Richard. I'm Richard, by the way.
You're gonna have to make a choice, all right? Is it Richard or
that's me. I'm Richard.
I know Richard.
I just want to let you know that I'm having a meniscus issue on both knees. Much for the next couple of months.
I appreciate your candor, thank you. I understand that knees are the first thing to go out in the body. It's not a strange thing at all.
I emailed it to you. Please confirm receipt.
I confirm. Confirm the receipt.
I got it.
If only I knew your knees meant so much to you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, Richard, maybe I got a little crazy. I got a little carried away with our anger towards each other.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry that I was mean to you when I stole your coffee equipment. I'm also sorry that I stole your car. I'm also sorry that I stole your email password, which is why I got the email originally, which was why there was that confusion.
Yeah, it was already.
Let's start off on a brand new foot, all right? I'm Richard.
Yeah, hey, Richard.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of the eclipse.
We're giving it back over to the boy. Everybody.
enjoyed, whatever, any of you jokers, if you're still around, come on up. Yeah, Andy's got to run, those guys got to go. So, you know, I'll say it once again. These guys are fantastic. These guys are your Southern heroes. Thank you, Andi Kezh. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Dahl. Thank you for Shannon Turner, Mark Kendall. Everybody, the volunteers, Mark, Melanie, Melissa, my wife Wendy, Jeff Rosenberg working this thing, this crazy technology. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming out. Please tell two friends about this if you enjoyed it and hug someone and drive safely tonight.